Hi, I'm Dr. Moore and I want to welcome you to our Neuropathy Breakthrough Workshop. This was a live workshop done on February 17th, 2017. We talked about neuropathy, how does it develop, what causes neuropathy, the major problems associated with neuropathy, and what you're really looking for is how can we help people with neuropathy using a drug-free approach. I know you've been frustrated and that's why you're watching this video, so I want to welcome you. And if you want to call our office, you can call us directly, 810-225-7246. Once again, that's 810-225-7246, and we will do our best to help you. I hope you enjoy the workshop. There was a village, and this village had been around for a long time, and it had to be relocated because of climate changes from one side of a mountain range all the way across to another side, a valley on the other side of the mountain range. So they packed up all their stuff, they tore down their buildings, and they moved it across the mountain range and set up on a valley on the other side of the mountain range. But they left one thing behind. And what they left behind was a clay statue. Now this statue was very, very important to everybody in the village. It was a vital part of their culture. So they packed it up very carefully, and they started moving it across the mountain range. And when they did, as you could guess, because it's clay, a crack appeared in the statue. And as they moved it more, another crack appeared. And then, as you can guess, a chunk finally fell off the statue. So somebody went and they picked up the chunk of clay and they were going to go put it on the statue, and they saw something shining in the clay. And so through further investigation, they discovered there was a solid gold statue underneath this clay statue. So apparently somebody a long time ago decided to protect the golden statue from marauders, vandals, villains, and they covered it up in clay. And it had been so long, they forgot there was a gold statue underneath this. So what does this have to do with neuropathy? Well, you see, your grandkids, your kids, your hobbies, your lifestyle, the things you like to do, you're the golden statue. And you've been covered up in clay, because how many people here have been told by their doctor, you can't get better. You got to learn to live with this. There's no reversing neuropathy. Anybody been told that? Yeah. And then so that's clay on the statue. Anybody? And who's here taking medication and found out, well, you know, I'm not feeling any better and I seem to be getting worse. That's more clay on your statue. And then some people, a lot of people, have made lifestyle changes. They don't do the things they used to do. They're not as comfortable doing the things that they want to do. They've given up stuff, all because of the discomfort of the neuropathy and the problems they're having. And again, that's more clay on the statue, because you try to accept it, but that's not right. We're here today to break off some of that clay, to show you that you can shine again, so that you can heal, you can have the life you want to have. Because who wants to get rid of the numbness? Just make sure my slide's good. Who would like to get rid of the burning pain? Anybody here? Yeah. All right. So we've got to find out, what is neuropathy? How does neuropathy develop? Well, if we start with the nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves, we then find something called peripheral nerves. The little sensors, little sensor nerves. And those nerves are surrounded by blood. All right, or you can see that picture up there. You can see the blood flow, the arteries and the veins surrounding the nerve. That gives the nerves oxygen and nutrients so the nerve can do its job. It's like a tree with a root system. If you have a healthy tree and a healthy root system, you have good fertile ground, you got water in the soil. The roots will bring the nutrients up to the leaves, and the tree will flower, the leaves will look good, that tree will stand up nice and strong and really enjoy its life. But if you let the soil get dry, you deplete the minerals, or going to destroy some of the roots, the tree doesn't get the nutrients it needs. And so the leaves start to shrivel up. And they don't function properly, they don't shine. The tree stops blossoming. But if we take some Miracle-Gro, we take some water and we water the soil and we rehabilitate those roots, we can get that tree to shine again, to bear fruit. The leaves will expand and stuff. We've all seen that in our plants. And sadly, however, if the root system is damaged 85%, it's not going to get the nutrients up to that tree. And so in some cases, that tree doesn't heal. It's still standing up. It's still, welcome.
Hi.
It's still standing up. It's still a tree, but it's a shadow of its former self. It's got too much clay on it. So we want to see what causes neuropathy. People always ask me, how did I get this way, Doc? Well, there's several ways that people get neuropathy, and one main thing, and this main thing that you're here for, is diabetic neuropathy. It's a loss of blood flow. You can see that right here, this nerve has a lot of blood flow to it, so it's a big, strong, healthy nerve. And then this nerve lost some blood flow, so you see the nerves getting smaller, and a gap appearing between the nerves. And if we lose the blood flow completely, that gap is really, really big. So which nerve would you like to have? Would you like to have this one, the middle one, or the top one? The top one. Yeah, that just makes the most sense. That's going to be your healthiest nerve. Healthy nerves make you feel better. There's another way people get neuropathy, and that's through toxins and chemicals. Chemotherapy-induced neuropathy. Chemotherapy is great because it helps the person with the cancer, but it destroys the nervous system. And neuropathy is the #1 reason people stop chemotherapy. Keith, can you hear me back there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's the #1 reason. Then there's also impairment. Is the nerve being choked off in the back, in the neck, because of a disc, because of surgery? Is that causing the nerve problem along the neurological pathway? And then there's a lot of other reasons. Autoimmune dysfunction, kidney disorders, thyroid, medications that we take, they'll destroy the nerves too. Infections, alcoholism. Those are all the ways people get neuropathy. But what does neuropathy do? It causes major, and I like the word major problems they develop. The first of these is numbness. Now people have told me, well, it feels like I got a piece of leather on the bottom of my foot. When I take a shower, the water on my feet feels different than the water on my legs. And when I walk around, I just don't really feel the ground. They don't feel stuff. The problem with numbness is you don't feel stuff. You can't feel how healthy your feet are. You can't feel if you step on the tack. You can't feel if there's a cut on your foot. You can't feel your foot. And if you have diabetes, it starts with pain, you get a callus, then you get numbness, a deformity, an ulceration, this nasty looking thing here. And the last thing that happens, if you can't feel your feet and you don't know how healthy your feet are, you don't really know that your foot is falling apart, so people get an amputation. That's the problem with numbness, is you start losing stuff. And if you've had an amputation, the odds are you're going to get another one. So numbness is a major problem. A lot of doctors will just give you the medication so you don't feel the numbness. That just slows your brain down. But it doesn't stop the regression of your feet. And then there's that prickly, tingling feeling that people get. I hear this a lot. When I lay down in my bed, just the weight on the sheets really bothers my feet. Anybody have that problem? Yeah. What that's called is called allodynia. And that's the nervous system. As it's starting to die, the nervous system is starting to die. It gets oversensitive and it starts to scream out. Ugh! A normal sensation aggravates the nerve. That's a sign that the nerves are dying. That's called allodynia. And then there's balance and muscle disorders. Now, there's 3 ways your brain tells you if you're standing upright. One is through your vision. If this stationary object starts to move, I know I'm falling over. Then I have the semicircular canals by my ears inside my head, and they tell me if I'm wobbling or whatever. And then the third way my brain regulates on my balance is my feet. And here's another way numbness is a problem, because if I can't feel the unleveling of the ground because my feet are numb, I trip. And then there's muscle disorders. That's from the brain communicating with the muscles. And if I can't coordinate just normal walking because the nerves are destroyed and I can't feel what my feet are doing, I'll walk all weird and eventually I'll fall down. Now the problem with falling down is very obvious. Is you might break something. If you fall down often enough and hard enough, something's going to break. And then you get to go to the hospital. And if that's bad enough, you get to go to the nursing home. And the sad part about this is we all know somebody who fell down and they never got up. And this is where neuropathy destroys your life. Neuropathy with losing your toes, that destroys a lot of your life. But this is what kills you, is numbness and balance disorders and that muscular discoordination. And that's why on a Saturday I'm here. When I tell people I save people's lives with neuropathy, they don't really know what I mean. This is what I mean. If I can save you from falling down, because I remember Elsie was a patient of mine, she fell down and she smacked her head. And I went to the nursing home and I saw Elsie, and she was a shadow of herself. And then I went to Elsie's funeral. And she used to walk a mile to my office in the middle of winter even. And my patients would see her, and they would try to give her a ride, and she'd say, no, no, no. But after she fell down, that was it for Elsie. So I want to save some lives. And that's why neuropathy is a big deal to me. And then there's that burning, sharp electrical pain that people will tell me about. And that's in your brain. Because I have nerves at the bottom of my feet or my hands that goes up my leg, up my arm, to my spine, to my brainstem, cerebellum, thalamus, and then to my somatosensory cortex right here on the other side of my brain. That pathway has to work perfect for me to really know what's going on. And if that pathway is messed up, or part of my brain is messed up, then it's not going to work perfect. And your brain relies on oxygen. That's why we live on planet Earth. Your brain relies on glucose for energy and stimulation from your body. And if that stimulation is wrong, your brain interprets it wrong. So we've got to look at the whole pathway. Most doctors just look at your feet or your hands. They don't look at the whole pathway. We look at the whole pathway. And that's very, very important. So what do we do with neuropathy? I want to take a little break from all that nice doom and gloom we just said and tell you what Carol had to say. Carol said, my demeanor is different. I don't feel so bad. I don't sit on the bed and cry. I don't hurt before I go to sleep for 3 hours. I just go to bed, get up in the morning, and go on with another day. No Lyrica, no Vicodin. I'm sleeping at night and I'm not as grumpy. And the reason Carol told me this was she was walking around town and a friend of her came up and said, Carol, it's nice to see the old Carol again. You're happy and you're smiling. And she didn't even realize that. And then there was Art, and Art said, I just can't get over it. For 2 years, I've sat around seeing specialists and them telling me nothing and not doing anything. I just finally said, I've got to do something. And I seen your ad, and I called you, and I've been in here, and I feel a lot better. Art did exactly what you did. He took action. He's tired of the runaround. He's tired of being told, oh, you gotta live with it. It's gonna get worse, you can't heal. He's been tired of getting all that clay thrown on his statue. So he did something. So I want to commend you for coming out today, on a Saturday, to see what you can do to change your life. So what we've got to first do is figure out what's going on. How did you get the neuropathy? Why do you have neuropathy? Is it because of increased blood flow? chemical induced, other reasons, spinal, impingement, what's going on, why do you have the neuropathy, and then how bad is it? So we do a neuropathy severity examination. Now I want to let you know right away, there's no pain. There's no electrodes stuck on you. You're not going to get electrocuted, anything like that. It's not painful. We check it and we see how do you feel cool sensation, heat sensation of a hairdryer. So it doesn't get that hot. Okay? Light touch, vibration. Then we check and see how is your balance centers working. How well are the lobes of your brain working? When we put all that together, we come up with a score. And that score tells me, what do you need? Okay, we know how bad you are. Now what do we got to do? If you've reached 85% loss of nerve function, I can't help you, and I will tell you that day one. If you have no loss of nerve function, you don't need my help. If you're somewhere in between, then we set a program based on that. So what do we do? What treatment options are there? Well, we got a 4-step process. And the first step is very obvious. Let's get some blood flow there. Let's get more oxygen to the nerves. Let's get more nutrients to the nerves. We do that with something called infrared diode technology. And this was developed by NASA. The reason NASA developed it, because if you were on the space shuttle and you cut yourself, it's on the back of that thing if you want to see. If you cut yourself, it took a long time to heal. Same thing in a submarine. So NASA had to discover a way to get people in normal healing cycles, and they discovered infrared diode technology, which is low light laser therapy. And they figured out how it worked, and they brought it out in the public. And what did they use it for first? Diabetic wound healing. And then they found out it worked great with neuropathy. And how it works is it works with something called nitric oxide. It stimulates the cells in the area to make nitric oxide. And a guy in 1998 won a Nobel Prize, so this is pretty new stuff. When I was in school in the early 90s, they told us, your brain doesn't heal, your nerves don't heal. So this is new stuff. So people say, why doesn't my doctor talk to me about this? Because they might not know. This is pretty new stuff. And it's got to get out there. It's got to get out to the public and the doctor. Nitric oxide, how it works, is very simple. It stimulates vasodilation, so the blood vessels that you have there open up, so more blood can get through. Then it does something called angiogenesis, and that is making more blood vessels. So now you have more blood vessels to the nerves and more blood to the nerves. That's more oxygen, that's more nutrients. We also use vibration therapy at 30 to 50 hertz. A lot of people have tried vibration. They might even have a little foot massager at home. And you like it initially, but it has to be between the 30 and 50 hertz range in order to really stimulate more blood flow to the area. So we've got more blood flow to the area. What we've got to do next is get rid of all the inflammation. I like to call it nutritional deflaming. So we teach you and give you information to help you stop poisoning your body and stop hurting yourself. So lifestyle changes that you can do. Because inflammation, that equals pain. Anybody here ever been given anti-inflammatory because they've been in pain? Yeah. It gets rid of inflammation. It doesn't get rid of the reason why you have the inflammation, but it gets rid of the inflammation. And inflammation in diabetic is poorly controlled glucose. You had inflammation and a lot of insulin, like type 2 diabetes, that causes the arteries to be sticky. Because normally cholesterol cruises through those arteries. But when there's damage and there's inflammation and high levels of insulin, it can't get through. And that's what destroys the blood vessels. So we've got more blood, we're losing inflammation. Now what we've got to do is stimulate small nerve fiber growth. And here's what will blow your mind, is what the National Institute of Health said. They said, and I want to let you read it, peripheral nerves have the ability to regenerate axons as long as the nerve cell itself has not died, which may lead to functional recovery over time. What that means is that if the nerve is not dead, it has the ability to regenerate itself, and then you're going to function better. That's the National Institute of Health, and that's their division of neurological disorders and strokes. They said that, not me, that's those guys. So how do we stimulate the nerves to heal? Well, we use something called pulsed electromagnetic frequency. And the reason we do that is if I went to Walmart and I bought a flashlight, and I use that flashlight for a month, like I have this little laser pointer, using my cat. If I use it all the time, I'm going to wear out the batteries. When people come to see me, I'm not the first doctor they went to see, they've ever gone to see. I'm usually last in line. They're low on energy. So the cells have gone from this energy level to this low energy level. And if the cell is at such a low energy level, it can't regenerate. It cannot heal. It doesn't have the energy to do that. And that's why I think people have tried a lot of different things and didn't get results, because the cells that needed to heal just didn't have the energy. So we've got to restore that energy and boost that up. And that's what we use the pulse electromagnetic frequency for. And Dr. Oz, he says that magnetic energy therapy uses the power of the magnet to redirect electrical impulses to the areas where you feel pain, so relief and healing can begin. So we've got oxygen, we've got nutrients, we've decreased inflammation, we've got more energy in the cells. Now what we've got to do is change the way your brain sees your body. Decrease that brain-based pain so you feel a little better. That would be great. So we use something called a rebuilder. Now the rebuilder is really simple. It's just, when I talked about the gap in the nerves closing, we stimulate the nerves at the rate the nerves work at, which is very important, 7.83 cycles per second, and that closes that gap like an auto mechanic that fixes spark plugs. It restores the synapse. The nice thing about the rebuilder, it's the #1 therapy that the Cancer Treatment Centers of America use for chemotherapy-induced neuropathy. It's good for those guys, it's good for us. We also do something called Trigenics and functional neurology. Now Trigenics is, you saw that on the postcard, you're probably wondering, what the heck is that? And you might have looked it up, which I hope you did. But very simply, Trigenics is a non-surgical, let me repeat that, it's a non-surgical neurological procedure that resets the way the brain and the body communicate. And what does it matter to you? Well, it instantly increases how well you move. That, I talked about the muscle disorders of neural coordination and walking, or just touching your nose. It resets those pathways and reestablishes them in the brain. So you move better. It decreases your pain instantly. And you get better balance. It accelerates healing. The nice thing that I like about Trigenics, the most important thing, is it's global. Because it's a brain-based procedure, it affects everything. Your heart, your lungs, your liver, your immune system, your disposition, your outlook on the world. That's what has a big effect. That's why Carol was smiling. Because we stimulated the humanity part of the brain, or frontal lobe. And then we do functional neurology. Now I'm a chiropractic functional neurologist. If I had to say I'm a chiropractor at first, you'd say, oh, we're here to talk about backs and necks and headaches. And we're great with those things. But like I said, when I was in school in the early 90s, they told me the nervous system doesn't heal. But I always thought to myself, if I cut my arm, I expect my arm to heal. Why wouldn't my nerves heal? And when I discovered functional neurology, which is only 10, 15 years old, I found something called neuroplasticity. And that is your nervous system wants to heal. And it does heal. And so in functional neurology, we stimulate the nervous system to heal. And some people have been to neurologists, right? And a neurologist, they're awesome. Love neurologists. You have a stroke, you have a tumor, you have a disease, I send you to a neurologist. Just sent somebody last week to one. And a neurologist is going to save your life. They're like a firefighter. They come in, your house is on fire, you have a big problem, they chop the door down, and they squirt everything in there, they put out the fire. But when the fire's over, and you need to rebuild the house, you don't want somebody coming with axes and fire hoses. You want a carpenter. And so I love Tim the Tool Time Taylor. You want a carpenter, and that's what we do in functional neurology. We stimulate the nervous system through neuroplasticity to heal. And as I was telling Tom and Donna, when you stimulate one part of the brain, you're only 3 steps away from stimulating another part of the brain. And so we look at those areas and we work on that whole pathway and rehabilitate the nervous system because it wants to heal. So we've got more blood flow, more nutrients, decreased inflammation, we stimulate nerve fiber growth, and we stimulate the nervous system to regenerate properly and function properly. That's the that's the four-step process that we have. So we've come to a crossroads. Now it's time to say, well, what are we going to do? Some people are going to want to stand pat and do what they've been doing, or could be nothing at all. And some people want to say, I think I just want to go talk to my doctor and see what he has to say about this. And then the big question that people have is, does Medicare cover any of this stuff, Doc? So I want to show you what Medicare has to say about you getting better. Medicare says, section 2251.3, a treatment plan that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, prolong and enhance the quality of life. So anything that prevents you from getting sick, anything prevention, anything that promotes your health and helps you feel better and help you live longer, or that maintains and prevents deterioration of chronic condition, something that's going to keep you from getting worse, is not medically necessary and therefore not covered. Medicare will gladly give you the medication, and I told you before, the medication will stop your pain, but it doesn't stop the deterioration. And if you've been on medication, you probably know it really didn't enhance your quality of life. And if you have to get your toe chopped off, they'll pay for that. When it comes to you getting better, they're not interested. So I hope that answers that question that everybody has. So what are we going to do? Are you going to keep doing the same stuff? I want to give you a warning. You're going to get more of the same. In all actuality, you already know this. It's just going to get worse because it hasn't been getting better. And if other doctors have been able to help you, you wouldn't be here today. And I take care of a lot of very difficult neurological cases because people want to turn things around. And that's why I think you came here, because you want to turn things around. You simply want different results. Like this lady. When she came to see me, you can see the picture of her there better. She came to see me, she couldn't walk. She had to use a walker. Her husband would drop her off at the front door, 10 feet from my office. Either myself or a team member had to get her out of the car, bring her in the office. She couldn't put on her shoes, she couldn't put on her socks. She was in horrible pain. She had terrible balance. She told me that she walked by her dresser and hit her leg on the dresser. And she didn't bleed. She just oozed out fluid. She was in a terrible way. 3 weeks later, you can see my camera dated it. When I went to take the picture on the right there, I walked about 10 feet away from her, grabbed my camera, turned around, and there she was, standing up. She wasn't using her walker, she wasn't using a cane, she just stood up. And then, in fact, that day, she actually parked in a normal parking spot, walked across the parking lot with her husband. And the reason she came to see me is because she wanted to take her grandchildren to Disney World and walk around Disney World with them. She didn't want to drive one of those little carts. She wanted to walk. Because that was important to her. So I want to ask you, what's important to you? Your grandkids important to you? Your friends? Your family? Traveling? What do you want to do? What's important to you? What's important to you? What do you want? And then imagine yourself actually sleeping through the night. Imagine yourself, walking strong and tall, with certainty, feeling better balanced. Imagine yourself going on trips, traveling, doing what you want to do, not being afraid to go do stuff. Imagine yourself participating in the family activities instead of sitting in a chair and just kind of watching. And I want you to imagine yourself, the last thing is imagine yourself being like yourself again. So I don't want you just to imagine that, I want you to actually have an opportunity to change all that. And so I want to give you an opportunity to come in my office and meet with me and talk about your issues, your health goals. What's going on with you? It's really easy for me to stand up here and say, everybody should do this and everybody should do that, but that doesn't work. You need help. And so what we'll do is we'll do an examination. Again, no pain, no pain, just to see how well you're working. Can you feel vibration? Can you feel light touch? Hot, cold? How balanced are you? How well is your neural coordination? What's going on with you? If we have to, we take x-rays, and then we sit down and we talk about it. And if you don't need my help, I'm going to tell you right away. And if you're so bad that I can't help you, I'm going to tell you that also. But we're going to sit down at a time that I'm not open. Because I work for you. A time for you to ask me any questions you want in privacy. So that you can fully understand what's going on. Now, this exam is normally $375 in my office, and today it's $49. And that $49 actually goes to a charity. I don't make any money on this. It goes to a homeless shelter that I work with in Flint. I wash the dishes there once a month. That's one barrier that I face with people is the finances. So I want to remove that barrier. But there's another barrier that I face also, and that's the barrier of time. A great doctor once told me, procrastination is the thief of health. We put off something we need to do today, we put it off till tomorrow, that becomes next week, that becomes next month, next year, and next thing you know, you're in an emergency room. And you're afraid, and you're angry, and then somebody walks up and says, Mr. Jones, it's time to make a very important decision. What are you going to do? And anytime you make any decision based on fear or anger, it never leads to a good place. So I want to challenge you today to move away from crisis care and moving more towards wellness and prevention, helping yourself while you still can. Because when is the best time to take care of yourself? When the problem's small, and when it's so big, you're actually lost. So take advantage of the opportunity. Jennifer's here. She passed out the little flyer for you to fill out. I'd also appreciate it if you evaluate me, because I want these to be better workshops and the facility that we're in. You can make an appointment for yourself, you can make an appointment for a loved one within the next 2 weeks. It's $49. Just please bring a check in with you. I don't take credit cards for this, and cash. It is a homeless shelter. I prefer not to give a homeless shelter cash. So we do that. Make the appointment with Jennifer. She'll be picking up. I will be around to answer questions. But I want to leave you on one note. There was a family, and this family would celebrate birthdays. Every birthday would have chocolate cake. And the person's birthday, they would make a list of things they wanted to do that year. So the dad, on his 50th birthday, he made a list of 50 things he wanted to do. He wanted to go biking with his wife. He wanted to ride horses with his kids. He wanted to travel to Florida. On his 60th birthday, he made a list of 60 things he wanted to do. To go to Paris, to redo his vows with his wife, to spend more time with his grandchildren, to learn a new language. On his 65th birthday, he had a very small list. And on that list was one thing. And it said, I want to get my health back. Because he understood a very important principle that without your health, you can't do anything. Thank you very much. Dr. Moore here again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, you can call our office, 810-225-7246. Again, that's 810-225-7246. And I promise you, we will do our best to help you. Thank you. Have an awesome day.